Hi there, I'm Sarah, and I understand that you're looking to get a dress, maybe later a mask for like a masquerade dance, masquerade ball kind of thing. Well, you came to the perfect place. I can definitely do that for you. And my friend who also works with me, Emily, is really good at, her masks are gorgeous. I'll actually show you an example of one of them before, at some point, if you're interested in getting one. Okay, yeah, we can, you came to me today about the dress, so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the dress and what you want, and we're going to measure you a little bit. That sounds good, yeah. So, first things first is I just want to note that you've seen examples of my work on my website, I think, since you've contacted me through that. I do want to highlight that this is not my work, so please don't judge me based off of the dress I'm wearing. It's actually just a Forever 21 dress that was on clearance. It's just sort of, it's not representative of my work. It's just cute and it was cheap. So, that's what I'm wearing. But it is not what your dress will look like. It will not be disintegrating the washer kind of material or anything like that. Let me grab that mask. Would you like me to grab that mask? Okay, so we'll look at that in a minute. Next thing what are you looking for exactly? What kind of ball or dance is this? I understand it's a masquerade, but sometimes that means real sort of elaborate poofy dresses. Sometimes people want something like that, but a little bit more modernized, because they're not cosplaying or role playing, the 18th or 19th century anything. That's not what they're looking for. Yeah. So you are looking for something a little bit more modern, a little bit more comfortable in that case. Yeah. Alright. Well, I promise you that I will get you the most comfortable dress, the most beautiful dress, the most well-made dress you could possibly find. Whatever you get from me, you will be 100% satisfied with, 200% satisfied with. You're going to love it. So, I also want to show you this, just because I didn't know if you knew it was an option. My friend she made this with her own two hands. It's a beautiful mask. Yours doesn't have to look like this. It doesn't have to be this elaborate. It could be more elaborate. It could be, more of a full face or half face mask. Whatever it is that you prefer, she'll do it. So as you can see, this is a mask that just goes on over your head like this. And it fits, it stays, it's comfortable. Also notable, I think, is that it's sturdy. For this one, she used a metal, actually, as you can see. But it doesn't take away from the aesthetic at all. It just makes it adds to it largely, and it makes sure this thing isn't going to fall apart after you wear it for a night, because that's just tragic. So, as you can see, she's got all these little roses on it. She's got this, really nice eye shape, and red sparkles all around, sort of glittery paint and color on that. Some sequins and everything. Another thing that's good to note is that there's glitter on here, but there's no glitter anywhere else. It's not going to get on me. So, if that's the kind of thing you're interested in, let me know, and we'll get talking to Emily later. Yeah. Alright, so first things first really is to talk about what it is exactly that you want. So like I said, I know that you're looking for something a little bit more modern but still fancy, which, by the way, I'm so excited because I get to do all kinds of projects and stuff like that, but I rarely get to do these sort of big fun projects that are real personalized and real nice. love it, and I'm so excited. So I can't wait to work with you. So let me open up to a blank page in my sketchbook. I am going to warn you that my drawings aren't very good at all, but my dresses are nice. This is just a representative of this sort of the shape you're looking for, and that we can look at the neckline and the arm length, and if you want to note that you want any kind of particular designs or anything like that, this is sort of a visual note taken for me. But don't take my drawing as a picture of the dress, because it would be garbage. It'd be garbage dress. Alright, so let me just some straight lines on here. Don't want to waste paper just because on my bag sketches. So, what's this party for? While I clean off my sketchbook. That sounds fun. Yeah, I've never been to anything like that. It sounds like it'd be a lot of work. Don't get me wrong. Wearing this dress would be some work, just wearing it. Just because anything that's real pretty and real worth wearing is usually a little bit uncomfortable. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you've walked in heels. The nice thing about this is, do you want a floor-length dress? Is this dress going to cover your shoes? Okay, because in that case, let me know if you want to wear flats or heels. You can have heels that are as high as you want, or you can have a teeny little heel if you want. And we can just find something, if you just want comfortable shoes because you're going to be dancing and stuff, we can just find some plain little flats, put some little matching sequins and stuff on there. I promise that they will look real pretty and legit, especially at first glance. We can make nice, like, we can look for some nicer shoes together and stuff. I don't make shoes. I can decorate some sort of plain shoes, but we can look for nicer shoes together. But if you're having a floor-length dress, this is modern times, and you want to be comfortable and able to walk around all night, I say we can make some comfortable flats. Or even if you want heels, just because you want to be tall, we can make them the most comfortable heels with the chunkiest heel possible, and you know, whatever height you want. Does that sound good? Okay, we'll think about it. We'll talk about it. So, as you said, you were looking for something that is poofy, that does poof, but it's not something that's just it's not gonna be too, it's gonna be a little bit malleable, I guess. You're gonna be able to move in it, and you could pull it in a little bit, so you're gonna want something like tulle under it or something, right? Is that alright with you? Tulle can get a little bit itchy if you haven't ever worn it or worn anything with it. It's sort of like tutu fabric, but it adds a lot of oomph to any dress. Yeah. So if you want it to be able to be like compressed easily by you, I would say we do tulle rather than some kind of wiring around the skirt or something that will keep it shape, but it will not budge. And if it budges, it's bent out of shape and you can't get back into shape, or at least you can't get it back into the perfect same shape. I would recommend tulle. Just wear some tights, honey, and it'll be perfectly fine. Like I said, you won't be seeing your legs. Wear what you want under the dress, okay? So I've got my sketchbook, like I said, and so first things first, I'm wondering about the bodice. Do you want something that is real, like, do you want it to be fitting? Are you gonna wear something like a corset? Do you want it to be something like a corset itself, like to act as that and to be somewhat constricting itself? Like, if you want it to be somewhat constricting itself, we can do that. Or I can make it so that it has room for a corset underneath, or we can make sure it has room for a corset over top. Alright, So you do want it to be form-fitting eventually. Yeah. All of them are going to be fairly form-fitting if you want a poof, but you know, there are different degrees where it looks like your body is sort of molded or not, and that is what you want. Alright, so I'm just going to start with that, just a little defined shape bodice. That's going to be our bodice. Perfect. And you want a poof. How much of a poof do you want? That's the question. And do you want it to be sort of a rounder poof or sort of a... Ignore this. This is just our bodice. You know, do you want your poof, that's our body? Do you want your poof to be exactly like that? Or do you want it to be something more like that and sort of taper off at the bottom? What are you looking for? I think that the second one is definitely easier to wear. It's easier for me to make probably. But you can still get a lot of drama out of it. The first one is going to be a little bit more of a pain to wear. Yeah. We can change it up until the time. Do you want to say that we'll do the second one and give it a little bit of, let it have a little bit more give, and we'll, if you'd like to reassess, any time up until I'm actually making the dress, I can change up the design. Does that sound fine? Alright. So I'm just going to draw in something like that, a little sort of bell poof. And that also lets you, if you want a little bit of fabric dragging on the, not dragging on the floor, it's not going to get ruined, but sort of dragging on the floor, you know, it's running across the floor. That you do have to worry about stepping on, but it also means you really aren't going to have to worry about your feet or your legs showing. So, leave it to you to decide. Of course, everything is yours to decide ultimately. In terms of sleeves, you want long sleeves, just form fit into your arm. Do you want them to be loose? Just fit to your arm, long sleeves. That's fine, honey. Do you want any flare at the end of the wrist? No? Yeah, that's fine. This is a real awful noodle arm. Do you want to see my noodle arm? It's real bad. All that matters is I know that it doesn't flare or anything like that. Noodle arm is pretty bad though, one sec. Sort of straight arm. There we go. And do you have any thoughts on your neckline? Are you going to want something, you could have something that's sort of cut out like, oops, sorry. You could have something that's sort of cut out, that's sort of like this, but it's straight across. You could have just a sort of traditional V-neck of whatever depth you want. I'll let you decide, of course. You can have something, if you wanted something that's shaped a little bit more like this as well, you could, where it's got a chest-defining shape, sort of, is the goal of the dress. Do you have any thoughts on your neckline? So something just a little bit like this, somewhat boxy at the top, but not bad, not ugly. If you want, we can sort of embellish the collar and everything like that if that's what you prefer. If you want there to be some attention drawn, but you don't want it to be because it's, you know, cut to your belly button or something like that. Yeah. Which is fine. If you want it to cut to your belly button, I'll have it cut to your belly button. I don't care, whatever you want. So that's our basic dress shape, the most basic part of our dress shape. And in terms of design and color and embellishments and stuff, I think we're going to want to be in contact. I think if you're going to want that mask, that we're going to want to coordinate with Emily. I think we're going to want to find out what kind of makeup you're wearing, what kind of makeup look you're planning on, what kind of, are you going to dye your hair before the party at all? Because that's going to affect the color of the dress and what it should be. What you have on the mask is going to affect the kind of embellishments you want. If you just want sequins, or like faux jewels on the mask, then you're probably not necessarily going to want your dress to be full floral. But if you have just sequins all over your dress, you might not want the mask to be full floral. We'll see. So you're not planning on dyeing your hair. That's good to know, just because it makes things simple. Your makeup. Do you have any thoughts on what you're going to be doing? No, you're probably just going to be doing something sort of neutral, and I think, okay, yeah, I think pinks would be good because they go well with your eyes anyway. Something that's sort of pinks and rose golds, I think, would be a real pretty look for you. Whatever color the dress is in that case, especially if we just leave it to be a warm color, will probably look good with that makeup look, and we can play with the lipstick color at that point and everything. Does that sound good? I mean, I'm not your makeup artist. If you want me to do your makeup, I can. I also have a good friend who's really good at makeup and brows and hair and all that stuff, nails. If you want your nails done, she can do that as well. My friend Anna, she's real good at that stuff. So, she's a talker though. You have to be prepared for that. She wants to talk about everyone's business. Anyway. That sounds like I'm talking about her. I'm not. She will tell you. Okay, yeah. That's not me talking behind her back. That is her bio, basically. That's what she sees herself as. So, do you know anything about materials and things like that? Okay, back to colors real quick. If you're going to be wearing a rose gold or a pinkish sort of with maybe some gold or some coppery colors, you're set on it being pretty warm though. Yeah, I think that's good with your skin tone anyway. I honestly would say that your skin and your hair and your eyes, just your general coloring, makes you really look very autumny. So I would say that you're kind of in autumn, probably. You're gonna look good in sort of darker, sort of more muted colors. And I don't want to sound like I'm taking away your choices at all for colors, because you can still have whatever color you want. This isn't deciding what color you have to have or anything like that. And I don't want you to think that if you do want to follow my advice, that now you're stuck to a bunch of ugly colors or just things that are dark and drab, because autumns are usually pretty muted and dark. I think that they can look really good, especially if they're worn by the right person. If it fits with your coloring, it's not going to be so, it's not going to look so drab. If it's how you're colored, like your skin and your hair and your everything is how your tone looks, and you're fairly warm toned and everything like that. You look good in your golds and your things like that, you know. You've got all those color tests going. I hope you pick some gold jewelry, because that's definitely what I would recommend for you to be wearing. As you can see, we're a one-stop shop when it comes to you know, outfits and makeup and everything. So just keep that in mind if you ever need anything else done. But if you want, you know, I would recommend you wear gold jewelry, you know, styling help and everything. Dressmaking, mask making, styling help, hair, makeup, brows, nails. Whatever you need done, we got, and we will do it. So I would think, if you're going to be considering colors, I would say that you should, maybe you could look up autumn colors, and if that's what you want to do, unless you have something in mind, and just kind of go through those, see what kind of things you'd like. I also think with basically anything that's calling itself a masquerade ball or masquerade party of any kind, it's going to really fit with those sort of darker colors. You know, you're not being consigned to grays and black and white. That's not it. Just sort of a more muted blue that can still be pretty, you know, muted and vibrant are kind of mutually exclusive, but it doesn't have to mean that it has to be, you know, like red but barely any color, anything like that. So it can be red but still eye-catching if you want something that's red, or you could get something that's blue and it's real eye-catching. I feel like like a green, because you probably want to go towards an olive green or something like that. You probably want to go towards an olive green or something like that. And I'm not sure that's so fun for a masquerade ball, but there are some pinks, some gorgeous pinks, and like beautiful dusty pinks. If you're interested in wearing pink, I would really recommend it. I think that would look great on you. Sort of a darker pink, but it's sort of a dusty pink, but it's still pink. You can tell that it's still real girly and pretty and everything like that. Yeah, and of course that's going to match your makeup if you're wearing pink eye, not pink eye, but you're wearing eye makeup that's pink. You can balance that out a little bit. If it seems a little too pink, we can get you some, I can put some lining on the dress and stuff like that. That's darker or heavier if you don't want it to look too dainty. But if you want it to look real dainty, we can also do that and do light gold trimmings and things like that, and flowers. Flowers can also be heavier. We'll talk about it. We'll think about it over the next couple of weeks. You have a while before this, right? So, that shouldn't be a problem. If you want to consider that, I would strongly recommend it. You can balance it out with darker pink eyeshadow and maybe some heavier eyeliner. If you want me to talk about it, I will. But if you want to chat with Anna about it as well, I'm sure she has. If you ask her about it and tell her what your thoughts, what your plans are, she's going to have some ideas. She's a girl with ideas. Alright, so we have we're doing a fitted bodice. And do you want the sort of corset to be built in? Okay, yeah. That's, I think it'd be maybe easiest if we left a little bit of room for a corset underneath. It really depends on what you want the design to be in that way. Because if you want the corset look, but you want it to be really smooth and like to blend into the rest of the dress, then you're gonna want something in the dress. Unless, like, if you want to see a corset design. If you don't mind if it's a little bit offsetting, you could use a darker corset to sort of offset the pink, sort of dusty pink, if that's what you wanted. So that's actually a real good option. You'd have to know that it's not going to look like it's part of the dress if it's not part of the dress. And if you put it underneath, you're not going to see that there's a corset. So, like I said, until we're actually making the dress, you can decide. You can think about it. You can change your mind. You can call me up or email me a million times and say, hey, Sarah, I was thinking that maybe I want the corset on the outside. I don't know. I found these pictures of pretty corsets on the outside, and I want to do one of them. Something like that. But until then, would you like me to get started on the measurements? Because no matter what, I'm going to take very similar measurements, and it'll be good for me to have no matter what. Because even if we get started on the dress, as long as you don't decide, if you decide that you want something smaller, so I might start out imagining that you're going to put a corset under it, because that would be looser fabric. As long as you don't want something like you don't start with no corset room and then say you want corset room, I can always adjust it back in really easy. I just can't necessarily pull it back out really easy. Like, I try to leave some extra fabric in it and everything, but I don't want it to be disrupting the lines of the dress or anything like that, But we'll take those measurements, and when you come in, we're definitely going to have to come in and have you get fitted in the dress itself anyway, and have me make alterations, because it never works out exactly how you want it to. And you're going to want to get that done closer to the date of the event, just because you might gain weight, you might lose weight, whatever happens, and, we'll work on that then if we need to bring it in a little bit of, if it needs to be let out a little bit, I will have a little bit of extra space for that, but otherwise, I will work it out. I'll figure it out if it needs to be wet out a little bit more. I will figure it out. I would just rather it not be because you're indecisive and decided you wanted a corset inside after all, after telling me no, go on and put on the, outside corsets. So, if it's just life events for not indecision, I will find a way. Yeah. I have measuring tape, and I'm just going to be taking some measurements, taking notes on those. Let's see. Alright, so the first things first, I'm just going to start sort of from the top. I'm going to measure across your shoulders, and I want you to stand with your arms sort of just to the side, tight like that. Not pulled in, but yeah. I'm going to get across, and I'm going to get the circumference, okay? Still going to use centimeters for this because it's much easier. Let's maybe a little bit more precise. Going to slip this on over you, right? Okay, that's not too tight, is it? No, it's not too loose, is it? Okay. All right, getting that out of your head. And now I'm going to be doing your arm. I'll do a couple. Can you just stick your arms out? I'm going to do from one to the other, from wrist to wrist. I'm going to do each arm from here to there. I'm going to do elbow to shoulder, and I'm going to do elbow to wrist as well on each arm. So hold them out wide, and that'll be perfect. Get the wrong side. Okay. That's looking good. And if you just hold one arm out, I'm going to do full, and the shoulder to elbow, elbow to wrist. That's going to be shoulder to elbow. Shoulder to elbow. Yes, to Great. And that's going to be elbow to wrist. Yeah. I think you're going to be wanting anything like gloves or anything like that. So gloves can be made, but honestly, in 99 out of 100 cases, I would have to say, why would you do that? It costs extra money. You don't get that much of an additional gain to buying some gloves and maybe altering them if you need to. I would say you buy your gloves, and I will alter them if you need to. If you're dead set on gloves being made, you'll have to come back and measure your hands and stuff like that. I lost your shoulder, your elbow to wrist. Thanks for being patient with me. I'm not trying to be an airhead today. Usually I'm not really. But it's just been a long day. Okay. And your other arm, if you can just hold it out all the way. Shoulder to wrist, or shoulder to elbow. And your roundabout. The millimeter doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure, you know, if I say it's 0.7, I'm not sure if it's 0.7 or 0.8. Usually I'll go with 0.8 because, like I said, everything can always be made smaller, you know. So let me just make a note here. Alright, so next thing is my tape measure. If my tape measure fail, I'm gonna get around your bust and I'm gonna get around your waist. Is that alright? If you want to stand up. Alright, I'm gonna do bust first. Alright. Let's do this. If I make you uncomfortable, please let me know immediately and I will move. Okay, I'm done. All done. And around your waist. Just gonna go around like that. Alright, waist. It's gonna be 0.3. Not 0.3 I mean not 0.3 centimeters, periods. That's just how many millimeters are extra. I don't know. I'm sorry. Long day. Now I'm gonna do your hips at the widest point. Alright? I'm sorry, that wasn't the best way to go about it. I didn't have to go over your head. Alright, so that's gonna be your hips. So let's do the next page. So tired. And what I'm going to want to get next is your legs. So I'm going to get your full leg on the front and the side and the back and the inside. Alright. So just keep standing and I'll ask you to turn around occasionally. Alright. I'm just going to kneel because it's the easiest thing to do. Alright, so I'm going to get this leg here, alright? Just the full leg on the front, just keep it straight. Yeah. Right. I'm going to get from the top of your hip to your knee on this one. I'm going to get your knee to your ankle. I know we're going for length, but, you know. Alright. So I'm going to get the outside of this leg here, alright? I'm not going to get all of those. I just need the one. And could you turn so I can get the back of your leg? Perfect. Alright, there's the back of your leg. And I'm going to do the inseam from here. Let me know if it's uncomfortable again. Like I said, it is the inside of your leg. Is that okay? Alright. Just to your ankle. Alright, alright. Alright, that's done. And I'm going to get the inseam of your other leg first. Alright. And I'm going to get the back of your other leg. Of your other leg first, okay? That's great. And can you turn so I can see your hip, like your side on your other leg? And finally, I'm just going to do the front, alright, like I did for the other leg. And again, for that leg, I'm going to do your hip to your knee. Just in the front, yeah. And your knee to your ankle, like your shin, your ankle. Perfect. All right. So I don't need to measure around your legs or anything like that. I don't think, because it's a dress. If you need a suit or anything, I probably would have to do that, of course. I just wanted to have all the measurements around, just to know how to, like in length, because I want to be able to adjust things so it doesn't ride up, like come up or anything, stuff like that. Can you also, do this, sort of like bring your shoulders together? I always forget this one. It's an awkward one to do at home. So I ask my clients, can you do this? And send me the number. Sorry. I left my thing down here. I asked them to send me things. And, whoops. My chairs. The covering's falling off. I asked them to send me this measurement, and it's just such an awkward one to do on yourself, you know, where you're putting it around and hunched over, and it just sort of sucks. Can I measure from the tip of your head to the tip of your, not tip of your toes, but the bottom of your feet? About 5'4". You're not 5'5". I'm sorry to tell you. You're 5'4". I've got it in, you know, I'm not measuring in inches, but I saw the inch sign, just let me know. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. I was bursting the bubble, and that's not nice. But if it makes you feel better, I tell everyone I'm 5'6", but I'm actually 5'5" and like a half or 3/4 or something like that. We all do it. Alright, so I have your shoulders and your waist, and your arms. I need to do around your arms, of course, and your wrists, yeah. So, can you just like hold it out so I can see? Like, sort of your bicep? And that arm, I'm also going to do the wrist. If you can just hold that out for me. Okay. And I'm going to do the other arm, bicep and wrist. There's a kid around, and I'm really sorry about that. It's just a way of life, I guess. And your wrist. Alright, that looks good. So I've got around your shoulders, I got your hunched shoulders, I got your height. Did I get your torso height? I don't think I did. I'm just gonna measure. Can you stand up? And I'm just gonna measure from like your sort of just where your shoulders are level across to the top of your hips. In terms of corsets, how comfortable are you with tightness? How tight do you want it to be? It's sorry, one sec. So you're okay with it being relatively tight, especially if you get to wear comfortable shoes? Yeah, I don't blame you at all. And you won't get cold or anything because it's like a full big old dress. But we can also try to make sure it's not too hot. We'll talk about materials later. Can you turn around? I'm going to measure from your shoulders to the top of your hips / your bottom, because that does change the height of, like, the length of things. Alright, turn around. Alright, there we go. And so have your top of your shoulders, your arm lengths, your body lengths, your leg lengths, and your hip circumference, and your... I'm gonna forget something. I'm definitely gonna forget something. What else is a part of a dress? You've got the body, and you've got the shoulders. You want to make sure it doesn't gap too much. And you've got the length top on both sides. The arms width, like full arm span, length of each arm, top of each arm, bust, waist, and hips. That actually might be about it for us for now, if you're okay with that. And if you want to come back after looking at some colors for dresses, you know what, if you'd like, I can give you Emily and Anna's emails and phone numbers, and you can call them or email them or text them, whatever you prefer. I'm also going to tell them about you if that's what you'd like. And me and them can also coordinate a little bit. Okay, so here's Anna. Your phone number. And her email address is... She has a Yahoo email account. Again, I'm not talking bad about her. She's the one who actually has a Yahoo email account. It's not my fault. I told her to get a Gmail account. I don't understand. And Emily, his phone number is... and her email address. gmail.com. So, I'm going to give this to you. Wow, that ripped out perfectly. Look at that. That's beautiful. Here is, you know, the top is Anna and the bottom is Emily. Anna does your makeup. She does your nails, hair, brows, kind of makeup, sort of. But, you know, she does them so well that I don't want to lump it in. And Emily, she mostly does masks and accessories. She's also really good at styling in general. So she would be a good person to talk to about shoes and, you know, your jewelry and all that in addition to the mask. Because she's really good at it. And I think once we all talk, if you want to work with her a little bit, me and her, she can help me think about how to do your dress. Like I said, if you want to be a little bit more dainty or a little bit less, you want to offset it with something sort of darker in the middle or something, some dark stuff on the trim and the top and the bottom of the dress and everything. Or assuming you did pink. This is just me brainstorming. I'm just giving examples. So, you know, I could put something sort of darker, a little bit edgier. We could even still do flowers, but do like black roses or something instead. Or we could make it as dainty and girly as you possibly could ever want. And we could cover it in daisies, or we could put little lace trim with little sequins and gems. And we could put little sparkles and glitter all over it. We could put whatever other cute little flowers. I don't care. I don't care what we do. We can do whatever if you want it to be real girly or more dainty, a little bit classier, a little bit more like out there and loud. Whatever it is, we'll figure it I just need you to talk to, if you're gonna work with us as a team, I'm gonna need to talk to the whole team. I'm gonna need you to decide to talk to the whole team. And if you're just gonna work with me regardless, I'm gonna need you to let me know what colors you're thinking, and let me know about that corset idea, and let me know if you're gonna want to offset the, like, what feel you're going for. So, like I said, because in that case, I'm just gonna have to style the dress. So, I want to know if I'm the one who's gonna have to make the call about, you know, little pumpkins on your dress. It's probably not pumpkins, right? But such things like that. So let me know about the feel of the dress and what you're going for and what you're thinking. If you have any questions, if you're doubting the shape that we decided on, if you want to change the neckline, if you've decided about the corset, whatever it is, let me know as soon as you can, because I'm excited to get started on the project. And honestly, always the sooner the better, because we have to order materials. Like, we keep relatively few materials on hand just because it's like, we have a lot of cottons, we have some linens, we got some wools and things like that, which aren't real popular in the summer especially, but you know, people use them. But we don't necessarily have anything that's going to look particularly fancy, and what we do have is going to be a really limited selection. So I do want to let you have the opportunity to really browse the possibilities of fabrics and colors and textures and how you're going to feel and whatever. We can get some, I don't know, we can get some samples of different fabric textures and things like that, just to give you a feel. Some people just cannot stand the feel of certain fabrics against their skin, so we want to know that beforehand. So, as you can tell, we do have a lot of decision work to make still. The really boring part is over. The real boring part where I'm measuring you and I have to tell you, you know, turn around and stuff. I still may need some measurements or things as we're working on it and adjusting, but we'll get to that. But nothing else where we gotta just, you know, sit down and do a bunch of measurements or anything like that. So, let me know. Let me know if you want to talk to everyone. Feel free. Would you like me to talk to them as well? That sounds great. Let me know what you're thinking, and I'll talk to them, and you give them a holler as well. Just hit them up, give them a call, give them an email, give them a text, whatever you're most comfortable with. They'll respond to any of them. All right. Anyway, in that case, why don't you, get going, get thinking about those ideas. I don't know if you're going with a boyfriend or girlfriend, whoever you're going with, or maybe just a friend, or alone. But if you're going with a boyfriend or girlfriend or a friend and you want to coordinate a little bit, maybe talk to them. Just whatever. Yeah. All right. Well, I will see you later, and we will talk about this some more. I'm really excited. All right. I will see you around.